Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's share of Supermysius. We have starting this extremely exciting, very complex story of the Burgher and the Pauper. And this particular Misa includes in it the journey that every person has to pass and the entire Am Yisrael has to pass before Mashiach comes. So without any further ado, let's open up and take a quick look. The text and take it from there. So we said there was this Burgher, which represents the tzaddik, and he had these poor people that lived beneath him. And he dreamt that people came and took everything belonged to him and gave it to them. And the pauper's wife says, I don't know why you're getting so scared. I also had the same dream. They're taking, I'm very rich. They're taking everything belongs to me and they're giving it to you, the pauper. And the tzaddik understood that means that his madregas and his terrors will be given down, they'll be watered down, they'll be given to people that take the mantle of tzaddikim, but they really are not. I mean, so it's a big problem. But nevertheless, because Baruch Hu has given the story a big push. So one day the Burgher's wife took a trip by coach, and she took with her other women, as we also read that, and she took the pauper's wife. They went on the excursion while Traveler General and his army passed through. They turned off the road as the army passed. We said this was their mistake. General is, of course, the Sitracha, turning off the derech. As Rami said, it's the that's being lax. The being lax in Shmiras Bris. Not seeing to it that you're sanctified the way you should be. That gives a toehold to the Sitracha. And he saw the woman traveling, gave orders, one of them should be taken. His man went and took out the pauper's wife, forcing her to the general's coach. They left with her, and there was no way that she could be rescued since it was so far away. And besides, the general was an army, so the general took her and brought her back to his land. And she was very God-fearing. She refused to listen to any of his entreaties and wept very much. And they implored her and wooed her, but she remained extremely God-fearing. And she, the Burgher's wife, and the other women returned from their trip, and the pauper's wife was gone. And the pauper wept very much, beating his hand against the wall in anguish and mourning for his wife incessantly. One day, the Burgher passed by the pauper's house, and he heard the poor man crying so bitterly and beating his head against the wall. And he went in and he asked him, why are you weeping so? So he said, why shouldn't I weep? He replied, what do I have left? Some people have wealth or children, but I have nothing at all. Now my wife is also taken from me, so what do I have left? This is a before we find out what it is that was done about it. There's a term in Chutei Moharan, I think, that Rabbeinu speaks about when a person is sleeping his life. He gets to certain kind of a rut, a routine. It's, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I being from Jew? Why am I this? Why am I that? Because that's who I am, that's where I live, that's my club, that I support, that I belong. And so sometimes what happens is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Mishamayim, they push him. And something tumadik happens to him. He loses his emunah. Suddenly he finds himself lost. And until then, he absolutely had no idea, but basically he accepted his life for what they were. But now suddenly he loses his emunah, and the bitterness that this engenders wakes up in him a tremendous feeling of bitterness and anguish. What have I done? What have I, what do I have? I don't have anything. I don't have Torah. I don't have tefillah. I don't have this. I don't have that. What am I doing with my days? I'm wasting my time, just, throwing my life away. And the tzaddik, when he sees that this is what happens, that the person is crying for that, that's what a person wants. That's what a person really wants, that he is grieving for the loss of his kedusha, for the loss of that he gets a tremendous rachmanis on him, as we will soon see. Many years ago, maybe 40, Rebbe Cheshin said a story that there was he used to give shurim in shuls of very simple people, porters and I don't know, blacksmiths, whatever it is, bakers, whatever it is. They had their own shuls, the Bukharian shuls in Jerusalem. Each one had their own. And he would go there, and he would give him shurim. So this is one of the guys there told him, if I sort of like remembered the story correctly, that one of the guys, either there was a new guy there or somebody told him the story. I don't recall exactly how it was. But and nevertheless, the guy says that he would come to daven in the minyan. It was a merchant, whatever it is. Sometimes he would come, sometimes he wouldn't come, sometimes whatever. So one day, you're supposed to say 90 amens a day, and 100 brachas and 90 amens. So one of the guys in the shul came to him and said, "Listen, I'm missing an amen for today. Do me a favor and sell me one of the amens that you sent today. I need 90, I have 89. He said, sell me one." And the guy got, very perturbed. He got very upset. He says, "What do you mean? You want me to sell you an amen?" what can you pay me for an amen? He says, "No, I don't know, I pay you 100 liros, I pay you 20. Nice amount of money. Are you kidding me? I'm not selling you an amen." So the guy told him, "What do you care? I mean, you don't come every single way to daven in a minyan. It's not like it's a big this. One less. So." And the guy got very upset. "No, I'm not going to send. I'm not going to sell you any one of my amen." And that woke him up. And from then on, he started coming to minyanim. Be very makpid on. Suddenly, something called his attention that he had a treasure in his hand, and he didn't. He didn't hold it as. It didn't give him any importance. It wasn't important for him. It wasn't. So I'll daven on my own, daven myself. What about the omen? All right. All kinds of terutzim. I can, I can't, whatever. But when he was threatened with losing one of those omens that he did say, it's sort of like made the whole thing real. And that woke him up into what on earth is going on with me? This is a very, very important thing. Then that we struggle with, we need to work on, we need to struggle against. What are we doing with our lives? What are we taking for granted? There's a whole seif in Shulchan Aruch that says that all your deeds should be l'shem shamayim. Says here. Simon Reish Lamed Aleph in Shulchan Aruch or Chaim. It says Shekol kavanoisov yu l'shem shamayim. That everything that you do, everything that you mean, would be l'shem shamayim. And it starts if it's not possible for you to learn without taking a nap, take a nap. The Rambam says, and when you wake up from your sleep, you don't have to say Elokei Neshama. And some say that before you sleep, just say V'noam Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu, and so forth and so on. It says, as long as it doesn't sleep for too long, because it's forbidden to sleep during the day more than the sleep of a horse, which is half an hour. And if this little, the kavanah shouldn't be to enjoyment of his body, but to strengthen his physique, Avodas Hashem. Same thing with everything the person enjoys in this world. Sure, mechaber for his own pleasure, but Avodas Hashem. You should know Hashem with all your ways, and Chazal said, all your deeds should be l'shem shamayim. Even the dvarim of rishus, like eating, drinking, walking, sitting, getting up, being with one's wife, or conversations, everything that your body needs should all be to the avodah of your Creator. or something that brings you to a bit of your creator. The afilu, even if a person is thirsty and is hungry, if he ate for his pleasure, ate or drank for his pleasure, that's not the best. But a person should eat and drink as much as he needs in order to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he said even more than that, and even to sit with this, with the mystery of the just, and to stand in the state of tzaddikim, and to follow the advice of tmimim. In other words, to do what you need to do, to be calling your mouth, to do whatever it is you need to do. If you do it, if you do it for your own pleasure, to fulfill what you want and what you crave, that's not the best, unless you actually did the Shem Shemayim. And how many people actually, basically all of us, to one degree or another, we live our lives willfully kidding ourselves. You know? So what if I won't daven Ma'ariv in a minyan? Or Shachris in a minyan? It's hard for me. So what if I won't go to the mikveh today? So what if I won't learn my learning today? I have other things that interest me. I want to know. I want to know what happened with Russia, with Ukraine, with Biden, with, I don't know, with my sports team. And I'm basically throwing my life away. It's like somebody who is, imagine you're sitting on a Greyhound bus, and there's a person has a stack of dollar bills. And, you know, Greyhound takes hours from city to city, whatever. And as the bus goes, the person takes a dollar bill and throws it out of the window. And then he takes another dollar bill and he throws that out of the window also. And he's like, what are you doing? He said, it's my money. And he keeps on going. As they go along, he takes another dollar bill and he throws out of the window. Another dollar bill goes out the window. When he gets into the city, he has no more money left. So he asks the guy next to him, says, you know, would you mind giving me some money? I ran out of money. Excuse me? You threw all your money away and you're asking people to give you more money. Those dollar bills that I throw out of the window are my minutes and my hours and my days and my weeks and my months and my years. Every time I use my time improperly, not to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's akin to me taking, you know, a dollar bill and just throw it out of the window. because when push comes to shove, time is the only property that I have. And I can't borrow time from anyone. I can't buy time from anyone. Anything that I do with my time is done. And if I'm doing things with my time that I should not be doing, it's not letzorach. It's not for a need. For me to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm just throwing my most precious possession out of the window, one by one, minute by minute, second by second. So people that are into life of this world, they may create great works of art that people see in museums and go, ah, ooh, ee. And I saw this video about Rav Urizor, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. The last directing job that he did for a girls' seminary. And it's fascinating to see him directing. And when they were actually sitting with the material, with a finished film, they were editing the film. So the story was about a girl who was a dancer and decided to do tshuva. And first of all, she has this give or take with her brother, who was, I didn't get the story, but the brother who was learning koilel or whatever, I'm not sure what he was. And she's telling him, well, you're just sitting there with your books day after day after day after day, doing every day doing the same thing. And she says, what's the tachlis? What is it all for? And he decided when they were editing the movie, to leave that word, which is like, what's the tachlis? What's the purpose? What purpose does this serve? To let it reverberate a little bit, because on that word, that was like the fulcrum around which her entire life turned. First of all, she said that from what I understand, that her brother was living a purposeless life. And then she herself started looking for the purpose. So in other words, the word tachlis. So in order to become, being an artist, so he decided how long a space should be allowed around her saying, what's the purpose? so as to give it, so it should gain some importance, so it can gain some reverberation. And they'll be able to continue from there. And when he did that, he says, okay, now go 1, 2, another frame, stop, let's go. Okay, now it's good. He just stopped and he said, I feel like I am applying makeup to a mummy. What am I doing? I'm creating this artwork. I mean, he was learning chavrusas all day long, night long, whatever. He says, what am I doing? He says, I see films, and I see an actor that is really moving me to tears, but what's the purpose? What does he do to me? So my team won the game or lost the game. So Picasso or Raphael or I don't know who, Matisse created this timeless work of art. So what? So what? What is it? What does it get me? Where does it lead me? And it's not like I'm not sensitive to, the evocativeness of works of art. That's what I'm saying. I understand, when there's a painting, when there's this, there's that, it brings a certain kind of energy, a certain kind of radiation, which can be sublime. When you listen to Beethoven or to Mozart or whatever it is, it takes you to places which are magnificent and sublime, but for what purpose? What does it get you? Where does it take me? Sometimes it takes a loss like that. Suddenly the emunah is lost. Suddenly I do something that I catch myself and I said, what on earth am I doing? How can I allow myself? And when a person cries like that, when a person starts lamenting, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my time? What am I doing with this only property that I have left? That the tzaddik passes by and asks him, what are you crying about? This is opening for the person himself. It's opening not just the fact that, I feel the loss, I feel the pain, but he says, some people have wealth, they have Torah. Some people have children. They were able to enrich other people's lives and bring people closer to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. And some people have wives, they have emunah. This is, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have any of that. And this is when the tzaddik knows that the pauper will take all the tzaddik's properties, as it were, all his sodas, all his whatever it is, and take it to places, we'll see later on in the story, takes it to places that should not, but the rachmanis, the gitzkeit of the tzaddik is that at that particular time, you have such rahmanas on the person that we will see B'ezrat Hashem next week what he does. We live, we have an unbelievable confidant and helper and leader that we can lean on, which is the tzaddik. All he wants from us is just to feel our own pain. Even waking up and then falling asleep again, and waking up and falling asleep again. And he will get us out of it, as we shall see. It's not a journey that we do alone. It's a journey that we do with the tzaddik. And Be'ezrat Hashem, next week, Monday, we will learn what is actually going on between the tzaddik and our emunah, the tzaddik and our neshama, what he does for us. So we'll be able to understand, a little bit of what's going on behind the curtain. B'ezrat Hashem, with this, we will finish the share for this week. Hopefully, on Wednesday, we learn the Likutei Moharan, and Chabdalet, we will start it closer to time, and we'll be able to put in the full share. And of course, B'ezrat Hashem will get into regular learning again after Shavuos and the sphere and everything. So, B'ezrat Hashem shall have a wonderful week, health and wealth, and everything good, B'ezrat Hashem.